This is a good one. This could be the game of the night on Friday night, actually. Syracuse and UNLV at Alliant, just down the road from CMAC there. UNLV 6.5-point home favorites, 59.5 the total. UNLV's taken some money. This didn't open at 6.5. This opened at 4.5, and it's been bet up to 6.5. People getting on the Malik Williams Heisman train. Maybe not. I don't know about Heisman, but I told you last week on this show with this UNLV team, don't overreact to the Matthew Sluka stuff. That everything that happened with him was going to rip this team apart. And the season
because they had Williams. They even have for real. Yeah, I mean, if they really even got, you know what I mean? Exactly.
They're fine with Malik Williams. He can throw the ball a hell of a lot fucking better than Matthew Sluka, I can tell you that. Just after watching one game of him against a quality Fresno State team, I can tell you he's a better passer. And he's not a stiff in the pocket either. He can move. He can run. Sluka probably can run better than he can, but Malik Williams can run. And we saw that last week in the game against Fresno. And then the defense, hell of an effort, because Fresno's got a good quarterback, good offense, Mikey Keene and company. I was impressed with the UNLV defense. They really, really stepped up. And if you look at UNLV's CMAC this year, they've stepped up on defense multiple times. With that Kansas game on the line, they got the stops they needed to hang around in that game and end up winning at 23-20. Shutting down Houston, I can't even bring that up anymore. It's not even impressive anymore with what we've seen out of Houston. But the Kansas defensive effort was great. Game on the line, they kept the team in the game and gave them a chance to win. And then to hold Mikey Keene and Fresno to 14 points. They only had 7 points at halftime. They didn't get to that 14-point mark. They were stuck on 7 until 6.5 left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
the Fresno's offense. So give UNLV's defense a lot of credit, especially the run game was completely shut down. Everything Fresno did was through the air. Meanwhile, you look at UNLV, balance. That's what you love to see. Malik Williams, 182 through the air, only 3 incomplete passes, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, no mistakes. They relied on his running ability, too, 119. Kylan James adds some rush yards. Jaden Thomas as well. It was a very impressive game. And then in the receiving core, you've got Raylan Sharp leading them, and with 116 receiving yards. UNLV, I don't want to step in front of them, but now we're asking them to lay more than a touch, almost a touch, or win by a touchdown or more after a win like that. And Syracuse is really good, especially through the air. Kyle McCord's played well, and their only loss was against Stanford at home. But here's the concern for Syracuse. You've been basically living in the Carrier Dome this year. All 4 of your games have been at home. Ohio, Georgia Tech, Stanford, Holy Cross last week. You won 42-14. Now you're going on the road for the first time. And not just any road game. You're going far away from home. You're going all the way to Las Vegas. Culture shock. First road game, and it's against a damn good, well-coached football team. And I think we can all agree they're very well coached under Barry Odom. If we didn't know that before, look at last week and how he rallied those troops to play that way coming off the Sluka nonsense. That's coaching right there. You talk about coaching and these numbnuts coaches like Sonny Dykes with no defense. I got to watch Robert Saleh yesterday and his fucking team commit 16 penalties in that game against Denver. No offensive chemistry and off of extra time to prepare because they played Thursday night last week against New England. And that's the performance you put out there. That's how you fucking get your team prepared. If you're Robert Saleh, an absolute disgrace. That guy is not good for the job. I've seen enough now after yesterday from Saleh. He's going to be the guy that derails this talented Jets team. That's horrible that you were that woefully unprepared to play a football game yesterday against Denver. Then you contrast that to college here with Barry Odom. His team is ready to fucking go every week. Look at that. All this shit storm with Sluka last week and all this, what are we going to do without him? Look how he got that team ready last week against Fresno, and look at how they responded. Look at how they played. That's coaching. That's good coaching. That's quality coaching. And I'm not stepping in front of that. I'm not stepping in front of UNLV. But you're laying a bigger number now. Syracuse is good. At the same time, I can't take Syracuse because they still struggle a bit on defense for my liking, and they're playing their first road game far away from home. That's a tricky spot to me. So more of a game to watch than bet for me. Maybe I lean to the over because I do think Syracuse could do some damage here against UNLV's defense, and I think UNLV can move the football against this Syracuse defense, which I'm still thinking is the weaker link of that team. What do you think here, C-Mac? Syracuse, UNLV.
Yeah, Sluka, see ya, buddy. Let's see how much money and where he goes. But I knew the quarterbacks they had with Williams and even Frill, these guys had played plenty. And one thing with UNLV, this team's just been money against the number. I get it, especially if it's under the touchdown. I think it's all right here because this is first road game for Syracuse. And like I said, their last 17, 13-4 ATS. Another game, just pound the rock. They had another over 250 yards on the ground. That's where they've been most impressive.
Yep.
Is UNLV, in the tackles. And flip side to their defense, again, turnovers. This team's been opportunistic last year and again this year. I think and the stats are a little bit, the defense played great, smothered them against the run. They didn't have anything, Fresno State. And at kind of the end, they threw the ball around. They had 300 pass yards, but they were down a ton. And UNLV kind of, that classic prevent defense. So they had some there. And that might be a little bit of a hole. So McCord could have some success in this game, but I think under the touchdowns, UNLV at home, I don't want to fade this team at all. And what do we get from Syracuse on the road? Ho-hum win against Holy Cross. They didn't cover, though. Right? I think if you had the over 4 touchdowns, 28.5 to 30.5, I think it went up to, you got the money last week. So to me, this is UNLV finally, though, ranked as well. Yep. First time ever. A lot of hype here in town for these Rebels, and what Odom's done. It's been cool to see.
Cool to see, shocking to see, but you got to give them all the credit. It's been very impressive what we have indeed seen from.
You know what you said, real quick. Williams is maybe not leaps and bounds, but he is a little bit better of a pocket passer than Sluka. That was the problem with him. I thought, this guy played a few games and he wants $100,000. It's like, go take it somewhere else, bud.
No, you're right. Yeah. Like I say, clearly they did not miss him last week in that game against Fresno State. Obviously, he played a hell of a game. Another thing that's concerning too is the Syracuse. It's not a big difference. Like they're middle of the pack defensively, but the run, they have been gashed on the run, on the ground, I should say. I remember that Ohio.
That's not good.
The year, and Ohio was running the football pretty well against them. And UNLV's got a lot better rushing attack from the quarterback, from the running backs. I mean, they come at they're a Baltimore Ravens type of offense where it's just you don't know who's running it. Is it the running back or is the quarterback going to keep it? That RPO quarterback run type of offense could have some success here.
They've been gashed on the ground with UNLV, and they've been awful on the road, man. Their last 8, they're 1-7 ATS.
Now those were Dino Babers years
away from the dome. That's true. That's
now Fran Brown, but still, we got to see it.
Still, they've had all year just hanging out in the dome there, and they don't carry them. Now they hit the road here.
Yeah, I get it. That's the thing that concerns me. You've been feasting in that dome. Now you're going out on the road, far away, long flight, raucous environment. If you ask me, I don't think Barry Odom lets his team have letdowns. I don't think they've had many. You would think maybe after the Fresno State game they will, but it's a Friday night. It's going to be on TV. It's an ACC power conference team coming into your building. That should get you ready. That should get you ready to play football right there.
Yep.
So that's a great game Friday night. No question about that. One last thing, too. I know this is college football, not NFL, but with this fucking Salah bullshit yesterday.
I had the Broncos.
What are you doing from that Thursday night win against New England? What the hell were you doing? Were you playing tiddlywinks, picking your nose for the last 10 days before that game? How is your team that woefully prepared? How are they that unprepared to play a football game? They were wretched. Penalties, turnovers. They couldn't run the ball. The offensive play calling made zero sense, in my opinion. The penalties is really what was crazy. I mean, you want to be handed the Super Bowl because you beat the New England Patriots a week ago? We can feel good about ourselves now and not show up yesterday? I mean, it's ridiculous. It's crazy that the Jets always do that. They've done this for the last 30, 40, 50 years. Every time they get everyone sucked in and excited after a couple of wins, they have that kind of performance. It's not even surprising anymore.